is the weighing 28 pounds.
I'll do this.
First white blaze. So just headed northbound, leaving the Springer Mountain parking lot. And actually it's kind of a misnomer because the Springer Mountain parking lot is not at the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. You have to backtrack southbound for like a mile to get to the top of Springer Mountain, take your pictures, and then you start. The alternative to that is to do the approach trail, which is like 9 miles straight uphill and isn't part of the AT. So I didn't feel the need to do that. So we drove up the forest road, walked up the top of Springer Mountain, turned around and came back. And just so incredibly fortunate that it's a sunny day to start. They've had like 20 inches of rain in this part of Georgia so far this year, compared to I think the norm is like 9 or something. And it was raining yesterday, and it's supposed to be nice tomorrow too, so really, really lucky. And headed northbound, going to Hawk Mountain tent sites, I think it is. And I got something like, I think 8 miles, 7.5 miles to there, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 2 o'clock now, something like that. But just a gorgeous day, great day to start, and gonna have some fun. Let's do this. Just got a couple miles left to my campsite for the night, but I forgot I wanted to share something. This morning, when we stopped for gas to fill up on the way up to Springer Mountain, I'm at the gas pump, and you know how they have those, I find them really annoying, but those little TVs when you're pumping gas, and the little voice on the TV, right after they tried to sell me a gigantic drink, said the word of the day. And I'm kind of listening, and the word of the day at the gas station on the TV was wanderlust. And if you don't know, wanderlust, I think it was something like this: it was the urge to wander and travel extensively, which I thought was pretty appropriate. Might have been better if it was successful wanderlust, but I'll take that as good karma anyway. So I made it to Hawk Mountain campsites. It's a nice setup. This is new in the last, I think, couple of years. It's like 30 tent pads spread out though, so you're not on top of each other. I've got hotel room number 6. Sweet setup. I got everything pretty much all set up. Dinner's cooking. Texas State Fair chili. That's going to seem gourmet, I think, in a few days or even a couple of weeks. It'll be way better than anything I'll be eating pretty soon. And one of the things I'd forgotten to mention, and also one of the most important things, a lot of people have asked, how I'm protecting myself, what I'm doing for protection on this hike. A lot of people concerned about that. Well, there's nothing you need to worry about. I am very well protected. No one's going to mess with me because I have, courtesy of Casey and Grady and Crosby, I have Spider-Man, Captain America, and Cho-Cho from Paws Patrol. So, as I said, no one's messing with me. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Crosby. Thanks, Grady. Thanks, Casey. Have a good night, everyone. Hey, good morning. Headed out from Hawk Mountain tent sites. What did I say? There's, I think, 30 tent pads there, and there's probably 15 tents last night. Honestly, I thought it would be more crowded. They talk a lot about how crowded the AT is this time of year, and I'm sure I'll experience that, but it wasn't too bad. So this morning we're headed for, well, we're going up and over Sassafras Mountain, which is our first big climb of the day. That's in a couple of miles, and then eventually to Woody Gap, which is about 12 miles. So should be a good day though. It's another beautiful day. This is the top of Sassafras. Climb wasn't too bad. I wouldn't want to do it at the end of the day, but it wasn't too bad. Now we're headed down into Cooper Gap. Coming up on Woody Gap. That was a tough day. Definitely harder than I thought. A couple more climbs than I expected, and it got super windy the last couple hours, but should have Mrs. Mulligan's limo service here waiting for me. And I get to slack pack the next couple of days, so that'll be awesome. That'll do it for day 2. It's day 3. Just got dropped off back at, what was it called? Woody Gap. And I mentioned yesterday it was a tough day. It really was. The weather deteriorated throughout the day. The wind, which I mentioned on my last video, probably peaked at like 40 or 50 miles an hour, and probably the last 3 hours was all on the windward side of the mountain, so you're just getting the most of it. And because it was cold, I didn't stop to eat, which was a big mistake. And right about like mile 12, there was a big climb that I didn't expect, and I just totally ran out of gas. Had to stop, eat something, and that last mile was just a killer. So lesson learned, but I feel good today. I'll turn this around in a second. You can see the weather. It's kind of rainy, really, really foggy. Not going to be any views, but good news is I'm, as they say, slack packing. I don't know if you can see back there, but it's a little day pack. So I'm not carrying anything, maybe 5 pounds of weight, not even. But we're going up over Blood Mountain today, which I think is like the maybe 3rd highest mountain in Georgia. Don't hold me to that, but 2nd or 3rd highest. And then down into Neels Gap. And that's where Mrs. Mulligan's going to pick me up again, so that'll be nice. See how it goes. Let's have fun. There you go. You get an idea of the weather today. Super foggy and damp. Just driving up here from Blairsville, it's probably a 40-minute drive on windy mountain roads. You couldn't see more than 50 or 100 feet in front of you. In a lot of ways, it's easier walking than driving. But as I said, not going to be any views today unless we get really lucky. But hopefully it's not raining right now, and hopefully the rain will hold off. It's supposed to till later on today, but that's what I thought yesterday as far as the wind. So we'll see. This is supposedly, according to the guidebook and the app I use, Guthook's app, this is supposedly a great view. We'll just have to trust them on that. It's actually not too bad out. You know, with the fog, you can't see how far you have to go uphill ahead of you. So as long as it doesn't start raining, I don't want to jinx myself here. But it's not bad out. So for today's quiz, so I started about 8:30, and you can see the view hasn't improved much. But what time of day would you guess it is? So I started at 8:30. Would you guess 10:30, 12:30, 2:30, 4:30? All right, kids, give you a chance to formulate your answer. The answer would be noon. 12:30, 12:30, just after noon. You wouldn't know it, huh? But not too bad. A little wet.
Nope. The views today has been like, nope.
This is the top of Blood Mountain and the Blood Mountain cabin. Shelter, I guess. Blood Mountain shelter. I don't know if you'd want to spend the night in there. And I don't know if I mentioned, I don't think I did, but I've done this section before from Springer Mountain to Neels Gap in October of 2017. And it was a beautiful clear day, 70 degrees. In fact, the whole trip was 70 degrees and clear. And they say from up here, you can see Atlanta on a clear day, and it was one of those days. But no way you can see anything today. In fact, I'll try and find a couple of those pictures and put them at the end of this video clip. This is the descent off of Blood Mountain. I don't know if you can, how well you can hear me with the wind, but sort of just flat rocks, a little bit steep. But somehow Blood Mountain, that sounds like an appropriate name to me today anyway. Well, that'll do it for day 3. Just coming into Neels Gap, and the only thing at Neels Gap is Mountain Crossing Outfitters, kind of a famous stop on the AT. But I'm just going into the Neels Gap. You can probably hear the cars and maybe see the road down below. I'll start here tomorrow. What a difference a day makes from yesterday, though. I went like a little bit over 11 miles, I think, today, and did it 2 hours faster than yesterday, which was, I don't know, like 12 and a half miles or something. Difference is the 25 less pounds on my back. Not insignificant, but that'll do it for today. I'll shoot some pictures or some video of the outfitter tomorrow. Kind of a cool place, so not too many people around. I'll start off tomorrow there. See ya.